Doug Mann, then you got to get out to the Blue Moon Diner. Peter Cadges raising the bar. Today they have roast beef hash, corned beef hash, and they have roast pork hash. So what does Cadges go with? The triple play. He's got all three of them over there. I love it, Peter.
Hey, the baseball season starts today, so why not a triple play?
What's the best of the three so far?
I would say the corned beef's pretty good.
The traditional.
Yeah, they're
roast
pretty good.
Pork, you can't get that anywhere.
No, the roast
I've ordered
pork is
something
good.
called the Chubby Checker today in order of this important debate on Beacon Hill.
Which we will get to in just a few minutes. First, though, gentlemen, another day, another politician caught up in a sex scandal. In this case, it's much like Clinton. It's the lion afterwards that's important here. The mayor of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick, finds himself in a wee bit of hot water, as they said on St. Patrick's Day. 15 years in jail at least. He's looking at, A, you surprised, Cosmo, B, are they doing the right thing going after this guy?
Based on what we've learned about what has happened, even under his own roof, a dancer that wound up dancing at a party of his and then turned up dead somewhere else. I think it's reasonable to go after him. It's too bad. I think we're running out of politicians to go after, and we're certainly
we need an election so we can get some more.
The standards for electability are plunging, but it's too bad. One after the other, we're learning more and more about people who've been elected and things they've done. It makes me think of Elliot Spitzer a little bit. Not that there's necessarily a direct comparison, but it's too bad he went down in flames in such a terrible way, because right now they could use him on Wall Street. They could use good old Elliot, the top cop of Wall Street, to deal with some of this stuff that's happening with the investment banks and some people who maybe ought to go to jail.
Who needs tax rebates the way Spitzer's throwing the money around to keep the economy
That's right.
going?
But he's stimulating the economy in his own way, as we've learned. So
we are during the Clinton debacle way back when, Peter, that perjury, whoever gets charged with it, whoever goes to jail for it, why are they doing this? Why are they going after him? Well, here's Kilpatrick now. He's got the same charge Clinton had. And this one looks even more. How's he going to win? How's he going to argue this and win it?
Well, all politics, as Tip O'Neill said, are local. And getting indicted in Detroit is not necessarily a bad thing. It's the Detroit voter has a mind frame, mindset that's, the powers are out after their guy. I don't think it's going to work in this instance. I mean, there is just so much. I mean, when was the last time you had a political scandal that involved dead bodies? I mean, even by Providence standards, this is a really good scandal. Unbelievable stuff.
He's fighting it, Cosmo. What are the chances a week from now or a month from now he's still the mayor of Detroit? The city council, 7-1, asked him to resign.
I got to hope they're limited. There ought to be standards for elected
officials.
Even in Detroit, there ought to be standards for elected officials. And one thing you ought to try to adhere to is, hey, let's not commit a crime while we're in office, whether it's perjury or
a crime, or how about a series of
a series of crimes, whether it's perjury or transporting individuals across state lines for purposes of sex, whatever it may be. Let's have some standards, and I think it's the right message to send that it's not acceptable.
Let's head to a place that has standards. Whether or not you like those standards is debatable, but let's head to Beacon Hill, Peter. We haven't talked since the casino vote went down to defeat, since Sal flexed his muscles and let everybody know that, yes, he is still the king. What are your thoughts as you look back on what happened in this debate?
Well, Sal is the king. I'll tell you, the day of the big hearing, I was up on Beacon Hill, and right before I went in, I stopped at the corner store across from Beacon Hill. The guy behind the counter was talking to the beer delivery guy, who was asking, "What's the big deal?" He said, "Oh, it's the hearing on casinos." The beer salesman says, "What's going to happen?" The guy behind the counter, the old guy behind the counter, says, "The boss doesn't want it." He goes, "You mean the governor?" "Nah, the real boss." Sal's the real boss. And I'll tell you, though, it's unfortunate for DeMacy that the Republicans today are calling for an ethics investigation, because there's no great sport in bringing down any state legislator. You got to bring them down when they're really high. And this scandal over the Cognos,
his charity, the golf tournament up in Ipswich, I think it is.
Where a Canadian company got a multi-million-dollar contract for software. That's problematical. I mean, he'll probably skate through if we find out the company's a good company, although that's not the issue. This isn't lining his own pockets. This is about political influence, and it's a real gray area. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Aside from the merits of the casinos, Cosmo, whether you're for them or against them, the fact is that this went down. Sal pulled some guys in behind closed doors. Who knows what the deals were that were made? We're learning slowly but surely about them. They come out, they switch their votes. This thing is dead. Do you have a problem with this, as this is how Beacon Hill works?
You know, I think the speaker said something very important just the other day, and that is, from day one, the governor didn't give him enough of the information, didn't talk to him about what his plan was when he should have, which is way before it went public. And that's an important thing to remember, because that's how things get done on Beacon Hill, whether it's healthcare reform or something else as important as economic development, like this the casino plan would have been. It wasn't done the right way. Just to quickly speak to Peter's point about the ethics thing, you know, the light of day is, I've always thought, the best regulator, the best watchdog, whether it's applied by the press or through disclosure of campaign contributions. And I think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing the light of day shown on something that maybe needs a closer look. But flipping back to the casino debate, from day one, it wasn't going to happen because of the way the governor approached it. And I think that's a lesson that hopefully he'll learn.
We're short on time. I got to switch to one last topic,
Okay.
Peter, because it hits a little close to home. The debate up on Beacon Hill today, now that the casino thing is resolved, the issue of weightism and heightism in the workplace. Should weight and height be considered the same as race and gender when it comes to hiring and firing,
Well,
etc.?
I don't know about height, but weight might be a consideration. Look, on the surface, this sounds pretty crazy. I'll admit I don't know a lot about it. I'm not sure we need another regulation. Having said that, you know, I'm a human being. I don't want anyone discriminated against for any reason. But do we really need more regulations?
Well, have any of us ever been discriminated against as a result of our weight? Quick show of hands.
Well, we're superior human beings.
Good point. Good point.
I'm sick and tired of fat people wanting special rights. If you got a problem, lose some weight. It's that simple, right? Lose some weight, for crying out loud.
Miss the sensitivity speech.
How does that work? Does that work?
Enjoy your breakfast at the Blue Moon Diner, Cosmo. More biscuits and gravy down here. Come on. If you're going to do it, say it loud and say it proud, Cosmo.